Working with Jay Sarno was probably one of the greatest experiences of my career. Jay was a great, great visionary, great ideas. Las Vegas was the only place that could overcome Jay's ideas because Jay had no relationship to return on capital investment. Didn't mean anything to him. I'll never forget, he was making a presentation one day of a restaurant that Sid and Marty Krofft, the puppeteers, were going to build, in which the trees would move and the leaves and birds would fly. I think it was in the millions of dollars in those days for this 70-seat restaurant. And here I am kiting checks to try to get the Circus Circus open. We didn't have hotel rooms in those days. So that fell by the wayside. I came down one day and there's Jay in the bottom of the casino. We're under construction. And we had this poured concrete ramp, reinforced steel, that came from the balcony down. And Jay is there with Rob Johnson, who was the general contractor, he's no longer with us, doing one of these. And in those days, I smoked cigars, and I went up to him, I said, "What's going on, Rob?" Rob looks at me and goes, "Jay wants that ramp moved 8 feet over this way." I said, "Rob, take a walk." And Jay, I said, "You're not moving the ramp, Jay." And he took and threw his keys onto the ground. He said, "Why do you fight me on everything that I want to do?" I said, "Jay, if I didn't, who would?" He looked at me and he says, "You're right," and walked away. But there was a living experience working with Jay. He was very innovative, but you had to control his costs. And I guess that was the job I had to do. Circus Circus was designed not with a hotel. It was Sarno's idea that Circus Circus would go into competition with Caesar's Palace as far as the casino was concerned. One of the big arguments we had is that you couldn't come into Circus Circus unless you walked up a flight of stairs from the outside. There was no entrance on the ground floor. And I said, "Jay, everybody wants to come in, and you come in through the casino." He says, "Why?" I said, "Well, every hotel, they come in through the casino." He says, "Why?" I says, "Jay, that way you get a chance to get a belly touch, to earn something." He says, "Why?" He says, "Just because they always did it that way doesn't mean that we continue to do it that way." So to get into Circus Circus, you entered up on the balcony, which was a gigantic mistake because there was no gaming on the balcony. To get the license from the Gaming Commission, we could not have any gaming up on the balcony because that's where all the kids' games were in those days. So all of the slots and everything was down on the first floor. If you recall the circus acts, I think they're still there, but they performed over the casino. We'd have a crap game going on, and Norbo, the ape man, would come down a line like an ape right into the middle of the crap pit. We had another guy who was diving from the top of the ceiling into a wet sponge into the pit. It was not conducive to gaming. And when Bill Bennett bought it, one of the first things he did was to put the roof over the casino, to put in an entrance at the first floor. Bill recognized Circus Circus for what it was. Jay was building it for something to go into competition with Caesar's. The cocktail waitresses' costumes were the same. And we opened with the Ed Sullivan Show live from Circus Circus. It was a great thing, but it was not conducive to gaming.